This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, Brewers Outlet, and NIL Game Changers. Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Purdy Insurance, Brewers Outlet, and Sunbury Motor Company. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummels Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Ford Kia Hyundai, the best in new inventory. Great pre-owned inventory with the Sunbury Motors guarantee. Means they go over every vehicle with a fine-tooth comb. It eases your buying experience. I'll tell you, I love that quick lane. Man. Go in there, take care of the oil change like that. Man. Hey, great service department. Routine. Inspections, routine, difficult to handle it all at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia. Routes 11 and 15 in Hummels Wharf and online at sunburymotors.com. How fortunate you are at Bucknell to have John Griffin as your basketball coach, and we're fortunate to have him here on the show. John, welcome back. Great to have you with us.
Steve, thanks for having me back. Yeah, I'm excited to be back on the line with you. That means that basketball is around the corner. And look, you got a lot going on with State College right now, buzzing, so yeah. I'm appreciative that I'm on.
It's great to have you on. Your preseason, what did you want to accomplish, and have you been able to accomplish those goals as you've gone through it?
Yeah, good question. I think with a team like ours, we were one of 8 Division I programs in the country that didn't lose an undergraduate to the transfer portal, so we have incredible continuity. So the preseason was all about picking up where we left off and getting as much in the first 3 weeks from a schematic standpoint as possible, and now we're just really fine-tuning it and trying to make sure that all of our T's are crossed and I's are dotted.
And for you, I mean, again, everyone knows that you'll get to the Patriot part of it, but how did you want to craft your non-con to make sure they got you ready to play the Patriot?
Yeah, our non-conference schedule right now, once it hit the public airways, created some great energy and excitement around our program and the community within our alumni and fan base. But internally, ultimately there's two boxes I'm trying to check. One, build a brand. Bucknell, I think, within the world of college basketball, despite the chaos of college athletics, still has a very recognizable brand in the sport of basketball. So I want to make sure that we still stay relevant nationally. And then 2, I often speak about in the world of recruiting just this idea of bringing in players that have a huge chip on their shoulder, an edge, yep, and they want to compete against the best possible programs they can compete. And so a way of enticing the best players that we can bring to Lewisburg is through the non-conference schedule and giving these players opportunities to compete against what's considered the best in college basketball.
You were able to go out while I was gallivanting in Madison. You were down in Philadelphia with St. Joe's. You won the game 88-82. You finally did see it. I know you have the veterans, but you see it in practical application. What did you like?
Yeah, I like the maturity of our group. It was a 40-minute basketball game. Exhibitions / scrimmages are just really great in terms of learning about our team, but also building confidence and real-time growth. And so we kind of checked all these boxes of all that. But I was really proud of their competitiveness and mostly their maturity, taking every possession for what it was. It was a great opportunity for us to participate in an exhibition game for a great cause in a great environment of college basketball. And, we learned a lot. St. Joe's is a tremendous team. They're athletic, they're fast, they're super skilled and super talented. And when you're going against each other every day, sure, you're working on this idea of something like transition defense. Well, when you're going against somebody that you see every day, it can lose its luster a little bit. And then you go down to St. Joe's and transition defense turns into like some monstrous dunks by the Hawks. So definitely livens up the simple parts of the game and alerts our group in particular, one that's a little bit more mature and experienced, into like, hey, we have to get better at the really important pillars of defense and make sure we don't turn the ball over when we're on offense.
Well, but there's another part to that, too. Every time something great happens in practice, there also might be, that happened great, except on the other side where you gave it up, you did something wrong. Now everybody's doing it with the same purpose.
It's a tough balance. It's a tough balance because you have to, as a coach, and this is where you really make sure that all your assistants and you meet and you're aligned. You know, what is everyone focusing on? If everyone's focusing on something different, then we can come back together after practice and pre-practice the following day and really dig into the fine details of where we were good versus where we were poor, and how do we improve, strengthen those strengths and improve our weaknesses.
What does it mean for cohesion to have Elvin Edmonds and Josh Basco together?
Yeah, I mean, it's unique. Steve, college athletics, you speak about it every day. You're on the front lines up there at Penn State. You see it, like, just front and center. To have continuity is a critical piece to hopeful, for us, success. But it's a critical piece in the world of culture for this idea of competing on every possession. Well, these two in particular, the two guys that you just mentioned, they know what I'm about, and now it's what they are about. And they're going to lead us with their actions, and that's incredibly invaluable because, I don't have to spend a lot of time on making sure that our cultural pillars are being carried out.
Well, and you're talking about two guys that had over 200 assists between the two of them last year. They share the basketball. Noah Williamson inside, he broke out for you last year. What does that do to your floor balance when you have that presence to go with your guard presence?
Yeah, I mean, Noah had a great year of growth for us, where in the beginning he was still learning kind of what the game of college basketball was like on a regular basis, and then by the end he was much more comfortable with who he was as a player and how he could impact the game on both sides of the ball. And he has had a really strong, productive off-season, changing his body. And to the outsider, they might not see like the actual physical changes, but he gained 12 to 15 pounds this off-season, which we're hoping has a great impact on his production levels on both sides of the floor. But being able to throw the ball near the rim to a player that's capable of scoring, as well as somebody that's capable of making shots from outside the arc, it does make us difficult to defend because it keeps the floor very spread. And there were opportunities for him on Saturday down in Philly at St. Joe's, and he took full advantage of it in terms of having open looks on the perimeter. He drilled a couple big threes for us, and then we were able to throw it to him near the rim, and he was able to either draw fouls or score. So that type of versatility is really hard to find from a player of his height in general, but especially for us here at Bucknell and in the Patriot League. I think that he can be a really major player for us and as we get into the year.
So, John, you'll get, quote, into the year starting with Delaware down in Newark on Monday night at 6:30. When you get to this point, you've got an exhibition game, then a regular season game. Do you now start transitioning into what you would call a game week routine for your team, getting ready for the opener, then to be followed up by a Thursday night game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have a week ahead of us here, and we have to plan it effectively. Meaning, like, yes, we want to make sure that we're ready to go for our upcoming opponents, beginning with Delaware. And if there's anything that we learned, and with a team of continuity like the one we have, they remember what it felt like in our home opener here. Delaware was fast, they were athletic, they were skilled, they drilled threes in the first 20 minutes, and they put us on our heels. So I'm not going to have to really speak about that because they all felt it. And if there's any game to prepare us for what we think Delaware will do, it was St. Joe's, who was also ridiculously fast up and down the floor, have a great guard, potential NBA player in Eric Reynolds. And so we're just going to drill down on what we think is the most important part of the game, defensively and offensively. And we're going to start with today. And it's not going to be all about Delaware on a Monday. It's going to be a small piece of the pie on Monday, but we're going to alert the group like we are starting today. It's a unique time where you have a 7-day window of preparation.
For you personally, what was it like just to go back down there for you personally?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I have my brother on my staff, so my brother and I spent our entire lives, young lives, on Hawk Hill and Hagan Arena, and it was very special. And prior to being the head coach here, I was the associate head coach at St. Joe's, so a large portion of the roster I recruited and spent every day with, and there's special people down there at St. Joe's, and it was really just cool. I'm so appreciative of Billy Lang for thinking of it, because he's such a huge mentor for me, and his son is a freshman here at Bucknell playing for us. And so there was just so much crossover from a relationship standpoint. And, it was a little bit of a strange feeling being on the other side. Typically, in my life, I'm a St. Joe's fan, like I just mentioned, an assistant. But it was super cool. And at the end of the day, the core of it was giving back to the autism community at St. Joe's with the Kinney Center. And that I know, having worked there, how important that institution is on the campus at St. Joe's. So that was also really great.
That's really great. Just one side, and then I'll let you go. Back in the Atlantic 10 days, and I did all 9 years of Penn State's Atlantic 10 games. The play-by-play guys, for a couple of years it was Merrill Reese, and for a couple of years it was Tommy McCarthy. So that's a long time ago.
That's big time. Hey, Steve, you got a big week coming up. Look, I know we're 50 minutes down the road. We aren't that Power 5 football, but you got game day coming to State College. Have the lines started forming? I mean, what are we talking here? Come on! Is anybody going to be even allowed in the bubble of State College? It's going to be amazing.
It's first come, first serve. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm weeding through interview requests right now. No. Yeah, I'll do that one.
Good for you. Good for you. This is awesome. I think it's amazing for the overall fan base of Penn State football, but for the community, State College. I mean, Krzyzewskiville has a lot of tents, and then there's the whiteout weekend versus Ohio State with ESPN Game Day later into the season. This is a great opportunity, and I know that our community is really excited for Penn State.
We appreciate it, John, very much. But just so you know, we know you're there. That's why we had you on today.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. John, We'll take whoever from State College wants to, come on down. We'll take you. Orange and blue. There
you go. All right, get over there. And first game's in Newark, though. Good luck on Monday night.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you so much. John Griffin, head basketball coach, Bucknell. We will come back more in a moment. Half hour brought to you by Sunbury Motors here on News Radio 1070 WKOK.
Party time, game time, or just fun time. Doesn't matter what time it is, because it's Brewers Outlet time. The Beverage Supermarket has the area's largest beer selection. Imports, microbrews, ciders, and domestics. Pick from over 100 ice-cold 12-packs and dozens of 24-ounce singles. Soda, snacks, hot sauces, fresh roasted peanuts. Make it one-stop party shopping, and don't forget the pickle bar. So whatever you're celebrating or just doing it up, Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury wants to see you. And thank you for your years of patronage.
Hi, this is Season. For over 100 years, the Purdy Insurance Agency has been protecting families and businesses of the greater Susquehanna Valley and beyond. With the experience of our trained and knowledgeable staff, you can rest assured that your needs will be evaluated and met by some of the industry's best representatives. No matter what your insurance needs are, call Purdy Insurance today at 570-286-5855. Visit our website at purdyinsurance.com or check us out on Facebook to see what we can do for you.